Okay. Bit of a lag there. Sorry about that. I was just seeing whether we were live. But hello, everybody. How's your week been? Mine's been quite interesting and varied. And I've still been sort of trying to recover with regards to the gluten intolerance episodes that I had. But I have had such an amazing, interesting kind of step back into me kind of few days. So that's why I'm going to be offering another creative form on tonight's show, and possibly on Sunday be bringing you some more sort of singing entertainment, but I shall notify you of that if that's happening. But yes, it's been an extremely interesting and very inspiring week. And that's led me to do, which is something that I do quite often, which is to write poetry. I write generally and have done for many years. Oh, I can hear my sun dog barking up there, obviously missing me. Today is Sundog's Gotcha Day, actually. It's 4 years that we got Sun to the day. But again, that's something I think that's led towards this kind of inspiring vortex that I've gone into. And I'm going to talk more about that. But first, I want to share this with you. Please, don't bask in the darkness of solitude. Look up and see the sun or the stars. Luna mocks the sadness away, where lovers love and magic hides. That face, do not search for that face of time. That face is trickery indeed. You will find no answers there. For we are a funny lot, all different, wrapped in special shades, full of possibilities. Wild until we choose to run together. Ah, don't balk at my message. Be glad that you have heard it. It's the way we humans do, or at least as we are meant to grow and inspire. Now that was something that I wrote, and I've got lots of poetry like that. Would love to hear of any poems that you might wish to share on here. I'd love to read them for you. That would be lovely. Hello, Olivia. I can see just very barely, now I've taken my glasses off, but I can see a bit of the chat. But I do apologise if I don't notice it as we go through on into the show. But the poem was inspired with reference to, obviously, the situation that we're all in is bringing a lot to the forefront, and we're hearing a lot of people doing what it is that I'm doing, which is trying to help people that are suffering and having problems with their mental health. And there obviously are many different strategies that we can use in order to try and become more aware of what it is that bothers us, and also find more possible things that we can do to change that. So the thing that I've come across, which is actually from a friend of mine, David Russ Fielding, he's a psychic medium that you can actually reach on Facebook, and he does sort of some general readings as well, where you actually read the cards and then he will give the outcome of that. I'm not sure if he's done that recently, but he made a kind of reading on me under the circumstances that I'm actually in a position of realigning. And that can be quite a jolt, or it can be quite shocking, and it can be quite a feeling of unsurety. But actually it's wonderful. And where it's sort of taken me, and it's very quick, it's sort of almost, why wasn't I doing this before? Why wasn't I just being before? Because everyone's opinions of us, they stick like glue, really, if we let them. But they're just a thought. They're just a possibility. But just as much of that being a possibility, you being wonderful and transposing yourself into the vortex where you are creative and you're good and you remember happy places and you have good memories that make you feel good. It makes you the person who you are meant to be. That's just as possible as somebody throwing a negative at you. But it's what we choose. It's our choice. And I choose to be good and to feel good and to be happy. It isn't often the things that we can do that are complex. It's the things that we allow to get into our way. That's the complexity. And actually, once you find your vortex where you can actually say, I'm just going to do this. You don't have to do it completely. You don't have to be complete in doing it. Just do it. Just move forward and do it. And what happens is a lot of these issues that we're all talking about at the moment begin to fall away. Now, on a practical level, the difficulties that we have with things like anxiety, depression, those things that we can look at with reflection of exercise, with reflection of how we eat, with reflection to who it is that we socialise with, that's another really important factor. But with what I found with regards to this exercise that I'm going to show you all just in a moment, it's the first time, so you'll have to forgive me, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You're all here first whilst I do this. This is before I actually release my Tracy set. But this is part of the Tracy set. And I'll show you how my mind works when I'm sort of linking everything up, because this exercise can be done in several different positions. The outcome can achieve several different sort of results, but ultimately, again, it's in whichever place you are, for whatever reason that you need to do it, that you'll probably find that the seated position, if you're out sort of waiting for an audition or an interview or something like that, you don't really want to be lying down on the floor. So with that in mind, I will show you. Now, with regards to the energy that we create when we're building up an anxiety, it's very much sort of like this with regards to the sort of spiral that you're creating within your system, with regards to that kind of panic that you're building. So if you start with this rolling position with your arms, or you can actually, if you're seated and don't want to be seen too well, do the same motion but with your thumbs. And you can be sort of down so that it's more discreet. But if you roll your arms and we roll outwards as we breathe in, and then reverse it inwards until we're finished breathing out. And you can do it as fast or as slowly as it needs to be. And you keep building this until you actually begin to realise the energy that you're creating has changed. Your energy has changed. You are in control of the force of that. And then gradually, once you've found that you've become settled, because there is a place that you find, anyone suffering with anxiety will know exactly what I'm talking about. When you get to that place where the breathing is sort of much more relaxed, you just bring the hands in and allow yourself to breathe for a while. And then as soon as that sort of happens, you're back and you realise that you're where you need to be, and you've brought that under control. It's also very good for anyone who has Fitbits because they add on to your steps when you do this. It's cheating, but it's true. Anyway, that exercise is something that can also, if we concentrate on the breathing, it starts to look at strategies as to how we can improve and strengthen our breathing. As a singer, it's obviously something that from a very young age I've worked on, and lots of techniques. I was lucky to work with, what was her name? Christine. Oh, I'll research. I can't remember her name. I know she got married. That's probably why it's confusing. But she was one of the Phantom of the Opera Christines, and she came to. It was when I was at Guildford, and she sort of worked on various different breathing exercises, and she was always quite astonished at the capacity of my ribs and my span as to how much air I could actually take in. So I was always quite proud of that. Being quite small, that was something, to have something that was big was good. And the concentration again that of the different sort of abilities with regards to linking everything together, all these things together to try and actually find a resolve and find a way how we can help our way through these matters of anxiety and depression and stress. All of these things begin to come together. They don't come in one format. You see, and this is something that we find and realise when we find ourselves in the vortex. Because suddenly it's everybody else wonderful ideas that are coming in and things that are coming at you because they want you to feel good. Things that want you to feel good in a situation where you are in a good place is only ever going to be good. So then what you start to realise is that any negativity or anything that's trying to pull you down, you don't fight against it. You don't congregate with it. You don't interact with it. And once you find that that is so easy, it starts to become something that, I'm not going to say it goes away, but you're aware of it and you start to realise where the control lies. And it's with you. You have to decide that today I'm going to get up and let's say, for example, it's raining and you don't really like the fact that it's raining because I know obviously we're in lockdown at the moment, but let's say it's because you've got for some reason to go out, but it's raining, but you've got a reason to go out. That's a reason to feel good. You've got to search always for something that you are in control of, that you can make certain it's all good. Even when it's not so good, there's always another level, another way that you can kind of take it, another angle. And yeah, there are going to be times when things really hit you hard. I know that this week it was 4 years since I lost my dad. And that was the day that I realised I had no parents anymore. My mum passed, as I said before, in 2013. And so that day was quite hard. But I was so lucky to have so many lovely friends and my beautiful family just taking care of me. So that was a positive in that day. That was amazing. And for my friend David to help me identify these other ways, that's what we all should be doing. We all need to be doing that. And when I look at some sort of sections of, I read sort of different things, and I will never ever allow a negative comment that maybe would come onto my page in somewhere. I won't allow that. That will be removed. That will be addressed. That would be privately addressed if necessary. And I suddenly realised I need to afford myself the same thing. So that's where it's at, really. That's, again, helping ourselves is the first port of call, which I've said before so many times. But there's, always somebody worse off. I was listening to, is it Jason Mansford's, he was streaming live. As again, a lot of people are doing this now. A lot of people are basically trying to reach out in their way that they can on here. And, I'm very fortunate to have the situation that I've got going on here. And he was taking somebody for their vaccine and for their vaccination. And this guy had a whole bunch of health issues that he was struggling with. And this guy's just, he's saying, yeah, but there's always somebody worse off. And that's this guy who's got this whole bunch of medical issues. He's going in for his vaccine and still feeling blessed. That's what it's about, and that's where it's at. And I think, once we find ourselves our way out of this, and there will be, we have to keep hope. We have to keep hope, because once we do find our way out of this, everybody's going to have changed. There's going to be a lot of things that we find within each other that's really different. And personally, I can't wait to celebrate that. I've been planning parties and all sorts of things that can happen once we are there. And obviously there's going to need to remain an understanding, and we need to follow what the instructions will be so that we can stay there. But the whole sort of process that I've gone through this week, it's just been amazing. And I really want you to get an idea of what it is that I'm saying, because it's so achievable. It's so easy. It's so easy. An example was today, my little sun dog. She's had a little bit of a sort of problem with her leg for a little while, which has ironed itself out. And so it was time for her walk. I better not say that too loudly, actually, because she'll probably go crackers. So I sort of got suited up and everything. It was just before coming on here. And she absolutely loves going to the woods. So I thought, yeah, that leg can make it today. I think she'll thank me for it. And her little face, oh my gosh. When we got back, it was just like I'd given her the world. And we'd just, gone to the front. We didn't do the full woods. It's a real heavy woods. We're talking very steep up like here. And it was just amazing. And it's lifted me. But I feel so peaceful. And I think that in itself is, again, it's sort of, we need to arrive at this place of peace, and we must listen to ourselves. Just remember that. I'll say it one more time. Somebody's negative thought that they might throw at you, it's only a possibility. It's only an opinion. It's in the future. It's not actual. It's not real. But it's just as possible for that good thought that you've got, that positive thought, that's just as possible as that one. Don't put that one first. Put you first. Put your thought first. Find your vortex. Think of things that make you happy and exist within that vortex. And it's really real. You don't have to be hammy. Crumbs. Somebody bangs into you if you're in well, I've only been in the supermarket. That's probably the only thing that springs to mind. You don't have to go, oh yeah, gee, thanks. No, it isn't that. It isn't that. But you don't allow it to ruin your day. You stay in control of your day. And that's as simple as it really gets. So I think for today, I'm going to just leave it there. I hope that you can really take on board the things that I've said. Play back the exercise, because this really does work. It really helps with the breathing. That was one of my big things that I suffered with regards to anxiety. It really helps getting that under control. And obviously you can use your thumbs if you're in a situation where you don't want people to see that. But that can then progress into the Tracy set, which we're going to be videoing, which helps to grow the capacity here for breathing, which we all need to think about too. That's something that's really important. But just move into that thought of your own special place, your vortex, and just see what happens. There's so much to be gained from it. And there's a bit to be lost, actually, if you don't try. So at least try. That would be amazing. So I'm going to go and do some exercise now. I'm feeling a bit better. I haven't eaten properly yet. A bit tired still, a bit listless. But I'm still going to go and do my exercise because that's one of my places where I'm happy and I like being there. And I think just to ponder the possibilities of what being good means. So, take care. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely night. Have a lovely morning. Have a lovely afternoon. Have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Just try and stay safe. Stay in your own lane. Keep focused, obviously. And I'm just sending out a whole bunch of love to you. Okay? Take care and peace be with you. Bye.